And we'll move on overseas now. Tension in Egypt increased tonight. Protesters torched a fire station outside Cairo, looted weapons and turned them on police. And an even bigger protest is expected tomorrow. As you know, these protests seem to be a kind of chain reaction across the Middle East, and the chaos could have serious repercussions right here in the United States. So we asked Martha Raddatz to tell us what those repercussions could be.
For every punch, for every blast of tear gas from the police, the protesters have come back in greater numbers with greater conviction and growing influence. The spark was lit in Tunisia, where the protests led to the ouster of that nation's authoritarian president. But now, just across the continent, Egypt is on fire. The tens of thousands of protesters are trying to bring down the man who has held power for 30 years, President Hosni Mubarak. They want better living conditions, but for the U.S., alarm bells are sounding. Why is Egypt so important? Listen to the president today.
Egypt's been an ally of ours on a lot of critical issues.
Issues like the Mideast peace process and fighting terrorism.
If the Egyptian government falls, then sort of all bets are off throughout the region.
But it is not just Tunisia and Egypt that have America's attention. The protests have even spread across the water, through the deserts, to Yemen.
Talk about alarm bells. Thousands of protesters are looking to oust Yemen's president. Why is Yemen important? The list is long and frightening. A training ground for al-Qaeda, the home of AL-AWLAKI, a terror leader more dangerous than Osama bin Laden, tied to the failed Christmas Day and Times Square bombing, and calling for more attacks. If the Yemeni government falls, no one will be there to challenge the terrorists.
Yemen becomes an absolute mess. I think the fear is that this would simply fall apart.
So while protests may be cause for cheering in some places, in others, these scenes should make America very nervous. Martha Raddatz, ABC News, Washington.